Hello, I'm Sharon Keightley from Pine Valley Quilts, and I'd like to show you how I turn the edges around my applique flowers. You can see here I have a template cut out, and this is the shiny side facing up, and then when you turn it over you've got the paper side which is against the wrong side of your fabric. I've cut it out with roughly a 1/4 inch seam or thereabouts, but not too small. So the next thing I'm going to do is clip my intersections. So I'm going to clip into the V's. I don't clip right in, I just leave a few threads. I find if you clip right in you might get some fraying. So there we go, just one more to clip, and you can see how far in I've gone on that one. So now I'm going to turn my edge onto the shiny side of the freezer paper. So I take an awl, just a general sewing awl. I've only got the template secured with flower head pins. I don't use glue unless I absolutely have to, and this keeps it nice and secure. So I usually start somewhere that's not an intersection. So I'll start at the top, and I just use my iron to seal that down in place. So I'm just sealing the edge with my iron as I go around, keeping it, just pulling it against the edge. I'm not pulling it too tight so that it crumples the edge. I'm just pulling it close enough so that it's there when I touch it with the iron, because the iron is actually what's doing the work, because it's sealing the fabric against the freezer paper. It's the awl's only holding it in place, and you want it nice and close to the freezer paper edge. You want it turned over the edge, because that's the pattern. That's how you're going to get nice beautiful edges around your applique. And as you're pulling it, you're just taking little tiny gathers around larger pieces. Like when you go around outside curves, you'll get little gathers. So I'm just running my iron in so it's underneath this bit, but it's actually on top of this bit, and it's sealing it in there. And then when I hold my awl against the paper and pull it down, that's my other sides coming down now. So I can iron that in, and it is very easy. It's not a difficult thing to do. It just keeps your seam allowance nicely against your template and makes it easy to stitch. I like freezer paper because it provides a stabilizer in my fabric. It keeps my fabric stable. It stops it from distorting or stretching or doing any of that horrible stuff. I stitch by machine. I don't very often hand stitch, although you can hand stitch this down. That's your personal choice. My personal choice is to use the sewing machine, because I got way too many designs in my head to take the time to hand stitch. And personally, I really like the machine stitching. It gives a nice firm stitch against my applique. It looks really good. You can't see it, it's invisible, and it holds nice and firm. And I know that my applique shapes are going to stay stitched down for a very, very long time. They're never going to come undone like perhaps a hand stitch would. So that's what I really, really love about the machine. Everybody has their personal preference, and that is truly my preference, to stitch by machine. I also suffer from a bit of RSI, and so the machine's my friend. So now you can see the back side with all the seams secured so I can take the pins out. And when I turn it over so you can see the right side, you can see how beautifully turned the edges are, and they're neat and tidy. There's no little fraying bits, they're all secured around the edges. So I hope you enjoyed my video showing you how I turn my edges on my flowers. I might do a next video will be to build all the pieces of the flower together and stitch them down in place so that I've got a whole flower unit, as is with this one that I've been doing. And you can see I've got circles, which I showed in a previous video. So you can see my layered circles, and I'll stitch all that in place on top of the flower before I actually stitch the flowers to the background, which means when I'm stitching flowers onto borders, I don't have to move my borders and turn things around so much, because I only have to stitch around the outside once. So that'll be my next video. I'm glad I can share this with you. I hope you watch more of my videos on my Pine Valley Quilts channel. Please subscribe. I love sharing what I do. Bye for now.